Happy Saturday, Patriots. Here we go. We got new cues to go over. Let me bring in my partner in justice, Shady Grooove. Shady, get on in here and let's go over some new cue.
Hey, Matrixxx, it's Saturday. What are we doing out here?
Oh, man, we're doing it all. Trying to figure out why display capture's not working here real quick. Let me just make sure.
Oh, we got a black screen. That's a good start for Saturday.
Black screens are good screens.
How's everyone out there? Did you miss us yesterday? Sorry, we missed you guys. We had a bunch of different things that came up, and we finally got some stuff worked out. But it's great to be here, and it's great to see you guys. And I hope you all know that you're winning like crazy.
Winning, yeah, totally winning, Shady. This has been an amazing day. We've
triggered everyone at this point.
Oh my gosh, all ass hats are deployed.
All ass hats deployed.
And so we got, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little shorter shows because we're going to be more pointed and directed. And please share this broadcast. Share this YouTube. Remember, we're on Podbean too now, podbean.com. We've got our show up there as well, which is kind of cool. So you can now podcast our show. I'm trying to figure out how this all works and get everything up there. So we're going to try to get, all the different shows that we've got, and it's going to be amazing. I do believe we're going to have a good time doing this. And
yeah, I'd like to give a real quick shout out to Webmaster Q for the unbelievable work on the new site. I really think it looks great. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's in the Matrixx with 3x's.com. We'll drop you a link, but we have a place where you can now send people to go to see the Q information and some of this stuff that I feel like a lot of people are kind of not talking about so much. So in the Matrixx with 3x's.com is up and running and beautiful. So thank you, Webmaster Q.
Yep. And while we're talking about it, before I was talking about the Podbean, so make sure you get over there. So we got the Matrixx Groove Show here on Podbean, Matrixx Groove Show. There's already been 127 downloads on this, so we're actually hitting the ball running. We've got followers already. If you're here in our audience following on Podbean, thank you very much. If you want to follow our YouTube and you're on Podbean, go to go to youtube.com/c/intheMatrixxx with 3 X's. That'll take you right to it. Or you can always go to this beautiful site that Shady just mentioned and hit these little buttons up here. This is our youtube.com right here, this link right here. This is Twitter, and this is Facebook. I got to get another Twitter up there for you, Shady. That's one thing I was talking about.
Give me a button up there.
Let's get you a button. But also, we do carry our podcasts on our own site too, Shady.
Yes, so you can actually, I think you can play them right from the site. So
you guys can, yeah, pretty amazing,
so
right?
You guys can send it to your friends, and they don't. It's tough sometimes to get in a position to watch a video, but I know a lot of you guys like drive time and in the car and stuff, and so this will be a little bit less bandwidth to use up on your devices, and you can ride around and listen to us.
Yeah, and I think we do a pretty good job explaining what we're doing. Here's the Payseur page. Who is P? I'm just going to change that to Payseur. I'm going to have John do that. I'm going to have him just say Payseur dig or Payseur information. And then I need to put our threads up there and a couple of other things. But also, Shady, we're going to be able to do blogs, guys. So we're going to actually be able to talk to you.
I'm figuring that out.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out real soon. So we have a new website. Get over there. And don't forget, we need your help and support. We have been demonetized on YouTube here, so we really need your help, guys. We've got Patreon. The Patreon is right now it's $10 a month to get over there and support us on Patreon. And if you get the $10 a month, you can do $1. There's a couple different options. You can do custom, but $10 or more will get you into our Discord server, the Q Army Plus server. So that's it. That's enough for the. And then you got PayPal as well. Links are below down this video. Mods will drop it, but we really need your help, and we're gonna go over some Q. Shady, what do you think? We just go over Q. Let's get some Q done.
Well, I'm excited to see all of the new drops that have come out because if you're paying attention, you're watching them become triggered on another level right now. It isn't just the normal trigger. Now that Ghislaine has been arrested, things have escalated dramatically. Shockwaves have been sent around the world, and the deep state in every corner of the planet are on pins and needles right now because of all of you Patriots.
So yeah, this is going to be Let's Go over Q post for 7/17. I guess that's 7 Qth. 7/17/2020 and 7/18/2020. We're going to go over all the posts up till now, and if Q posts during our show, we're going to go over those too. So stick with us, guys. It's going to be fun. These posts, as Shady mentioned, are pretty amazing. So I just use this because FISA brings down the house. Q. This is my starter thread, and if you guys aren't familiar with Twitter, I have every Q post on my timeline here since February of 18. Okay, so if you guys got to remember to kind of come back, because apparently Twitter doesn't let you know that I post underneath this main thread.
Well, one thing I'd like to maybe throw out there to the audience, or maybe if some people are new and stuff, is that all the work that we've kind of put into doing all of this stuff and getting all of the threads put together. It's not just Q post in the threads; it's all the anon research and different things that are relevant coming through. And you can use Google, believe it or not, and you can type in the Matrixxx with 3 X's and any given day in the past, and you will come along to the thread. And so, if you want to go back to looking at some of the stuff from a year ago or 2 years ago, you can type in the dates, and then all of a sudden the thread pops up and you can see the research that we've been working on for the past couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you. We've got shows with 1 and 2 year deltas now, Shady. We've got obviously Q posts, threads, not just the posts, the threads, as Shady is mentioning, what was happening that day, some of the decodes. It's pretty amazing and brilliant anon research, and also our research, Shady, mine, yours, and the Q Army Plus is involved with that too. The In the Matrixx channel isn't just In the Matrixx me per se; it's all of us. No one.
It's all of you guys that come here and join us. We see your research, we're seeing your stuff out there, and we're trying to amplify. Everyone that we can, because this is our job. Our job is not to sit around and yell and scream and act like we're Q. Our job is to pass along the information Q wants you to look at.
Oh, you mean we shouldn't be fighting each other, saying I'm this, I'm that, you're this, you're that?
That's what our mission is, right? My mission going on out there, bro.
My mission is not to divide people. My mission is to cover Q and to show what's going on in today's events. And I think that should be everybody's mission right now, unless you're a divider.
Unless you have another mission?
Unless you have another mission. So let's go over, Shady. This is 4581, Shady. Let's go to 4581 here. And, wow. Hey, Shady, there's nothing to say here.
Oh, Ray Chandler in that picture.
No, that's not my wife right there. That is not Hillary.
At Epstein Island.
Just ask her. She'll tell you. That's not.
She'll lie.
Is that I don't know who that is. That's deeply connected to Rachel Chandler. Now, I have another theory that Ray Chandler could be somebody else, guys. It could be Raymond Chandler. Do a dig. Check it out. All right, here we go. So this is what post are we going on, Shady? I'm sorry.
4581, I think, is roughly in the region.
Who could have asked for better, Shady? I tell you, thank you so much.
Boom.
I know, right? Let me just make it a little bit bigger, but maybe 4581. So that makes it bigger. So I can I'm sorry for the scroll, folks. Somebody got triggered with my scrolling, but this is live. This is how we go. So here we go, guys. This is Q post 4581, and it was posted on 7/7/2020 at 15:59 Eastern Time. So that's 3:59 Eastern Standard Time. And Q just drops a link to the Senate Judiciary right here. And this is huge, guys. While we're all, worried about who's who and what's what and all that other stuff, we've got Judiciary Committee releases declassified documents that substantially undercut the Steele dossier. Page FISA warrants, guys. As part of the Senate Judiciary ongoing investigation into the Crossfire Hurricane investigation and related FISA abuses, Chairman Lindsey Graham released 2 recently declassified documents that significantly undercut the reliability of the Steele dossier and the accuracy and reliability of many of the factual assertions in the Carter Page FISA applications. Do you understand? The Steele dossier is complete garbage. Thereby, yes. FISA warrants are complete garbage. FISA will bring down the House who got illegal FISA warrants.
Yes.
And that means that
this subsource, this is exposing the subsource. Everybody's heard about the subsource. Well, the subsource was a guy that worked for Christopher Steele, everyone, and he has admitted that Hillary was involved in creating the whole thing.
Yes. So this is the whole Russia investigation. This is all the attacks.
3 years of your life.
Yeah. This is it. So let's just go down to document 1. So the first document is a 57-page summary of a 3-day interview with the FBI conducted with Christopher Steele's so-called primary subsource in January of 2017. So essentially, this document not only demonstrates how unsubstantiated and unreliable the Steele dossier was, it shows that the FBI was on notice of the dossier's credibility problems and sought 2 more FISA application renewals after gaining this awareness. Now, in a real government, in a real, people actually doing how we would act in a government, right? Not all, paid off and, trying to cover up our, their pedophilia and all that stuff. We need to understand that they got 2 more FISA application renewals, Shady.
They sure did after the president was inaugurated.
Yes.
Okay, so are problems? Yes, are problems.
Yeah. And this is the document reveals that the primary source, remember POTUS, sources say, which means lies, of Steele's election reporting was not some well-connected current former Russian official, but a non-Russian-based contract employee of Christopher Steele's firm. Hey, Shady, you act like a Russian and we'll pass it off to these guys and they'll believe it, dude.
Oh, it'll be so good.
Oh, it'll be so good. And they hate Trump, so they'll go with it. They'll do it. They'll do it because they hate Trump.
Believe it. Even the never Trumpers, it's even the people out there that we have blackmailed. They're going to go along with it because they'll have no choice.
Bill Kristol, McCain,
Maggie Haberman,
MAGA hat. No, MAGA. Oh, they can't say MAGA coalition.
Yeah,
they can't say MAGA. And it was awesome. I saw the president actually saying MAGA. Like he pronounced it correctly. But the people that are saying they're MAGA actually say MAGA. Tomato? No. Real Trump, non-Trump.
It's an A, not an O.
It's an A, not an O. All right. MAGA. So this demonstrates that the information that Steele's primary source provided him was a second and third hand information, a.k.a. rumors. None of this would be admissible in a court of law, folks. If you were in court, if you had third hand, information, that would not be admissible, Shady.
It's the same as hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's absolute hearsay.
This
it's
is
like
hearsay.
Yeah, it's like no one was actually there. No one really heard it. It's third-hand information, and it's unverified. And the thing is, this all got switched around to be called verified at some point on the documents inside the FBI, when in fact it was obviously not verified. And that's a big part of what they're going to be looking in right here, because every one of them, whether it's Orr, Strzok, Page, or Steele, they all knew, man. They're all running around pointing fingers at each other, but they all knew, they were all working on it, and they all got paid. The FBI paid $12 million for this dossier thing, and the mainstream media is still pretending like it's some. And the hunt
cost $40 million on top of that, or more. Now, Shady, in short, this is the long and the short of it. This document demonstrates the information that Steele dossier, which played a central and essential role in FISA warrants on Carter Page, should never, I repeat, should never have been presented to the FISA court. So that's document 1. In this link, you can check it out. It's 57 pages, I believe, Shady.
Yeah, it is.
So,
and I would like to even point out here.
We need to
I know that we're aggravated at the DOJ and the attorneys and the people. The names we know: Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, all these people. But let's be realistic. You really think that the FISA court went along with this and didn't have any idea? Like, they were keeping all this exculpatory evidence behind. It's just seems very unusual to me that the FISA court was acting genuine in this whole situation. I think that there's a lot more to that side of things than we're seeing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. There's no redactions, so that's good. Look at that. All right, so we're just going to keep going, guys. That's it. So if you want to read that and dig into that, I don't know if the Anons dug into it, but I think we should. The second document contains Peter Strzok, his typewritten comments disagreeing with assertions made in the New York Times article about alleged Russian intelligence ties to the Trump campaign. This guy is done. Toast. Anybody still going around with this Russian collusion crap? I'm telling you, they're not paying attention.
They're still on it, man. Even some of the presenters on Fox News still give credibility to it. You know, it's like we keep having this BS conversation where they we got to give equal time to both sides. Let me just say for a second, Marxist revolution and all of the attributes and cooperations that go on with that are not equal and opposing viewpoints. That is literally against your country. That is anti-American. That is, in theory, treason.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and, you know, remember, Q keeps saying foreign country, and we're going to get into that too. But this actually is, this document demonstrates that Peter Strzok and others in the FBI leadership positions must have been aware, and they were aware, of the issues with the Steele dossier. Okay. And this Steele's primary subsource, right, is ridiculous, dude. It's so stupid. The document further shows that the FBI assertion to the FISA court and that the FISA FBI believes that Russia efforts to influence U.S. policy were likely being coordinated between the Russian intelligence service and Page and possible others appears to be a misrepresentation, aka fake, false,
phony.
And you believed it. People believe this. Did you hear Fox report on this at all yesterday?
Nope.
Huh. Why is that, Shady?
Because I don't think they want our
because we are the news now.
Yeah, I don't think they want people to know.
No. Let's go to the next one, Shady. 4582. It's a link to Washington Times. Peter Strzok, FBI crossfire hurricane. Let's see what this says. This is a FBI crossfire hurricane unit. Watch Trump the day he took the oath of office, Shady. Look at that. FBI Peter Strzok and his FBI Crossfire Hurricane Unit were focused on the White House during President Trump's inauguration celebration, so much so that the angry agent complained he was kept out of the loop on Bureau counterintelligence briefing there. Mr. Strzok, who would later be fired for his anti-Trump messages to FBI lawyer Lisa Page, erupted the day after Mr. Trump became president. According to newly released emails obtained by the Judicial Watch conservative watchdog in Washington, Mr. Strzok said in the email to his boss, counterintelligence chief Bill Priestap, he could have folded the FBI briefing into the strategy for investigating Trump associates. Quote, I heard from redacted about the White House CI briefing routed from redacted. Mr. Strzok said, I am angry at that Jen, colleague former Jen Boone, did not at least CC me as my branch has pending investigative matters there. This brief may have played into our investigative strategy, and I would like the ability to have visibility and provide the thoughts, counsel to you in advance of the briefing, aka I want to control the narrative. This is one of the reasons why I raised the issues of Lane's responsibilities that I did when you asked her to handle White House detailee interaction. So
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. These documents suggest that President Trump was targeted by then CI Director Comey, FBI, as soon as he stepped foot into the Oval Office, guys. Wow. So honestly, this is the point. They were not investigating anything to do with Russia. What they were doing was trying to get a legitimate to investigate the president, and that's what they were doing the whole time. They were not investigating Russian collusion. They were investigating the president, trying to find anything that they could find to go against him with you in this narrative, and all they ended up with was the same Russia they started with because they didn't find anything. So let's read this. 3 days later, Mr. Strzok traveled to the White House to interview Mr. Flynn, who would have been forced to plead guilty by Deep State Covington because he thought he'd be saved because they threatened his family. Guilty in December for lying. The Trump Justice Department moved and made to drop the case, citing proving undisclosed FBI files that would have helped Mr. Flynn's case. Like these guys screwed everybody.
And it's not, and we also see that this is a pattern. We look back to RR, we look back to Comey and Mueller going all the way back to before 2000. These guys have been railroading people in the DOJ for decades now. And I think that we're going to have not only this case that we're dealing with, the fruit of a poisonous tree, but I think there's a lot more attorneys out there that are salivating for their clients who are railroaded by these fools.
That's right. Shady, let's go over this one.
Let's do it. This is post 4583717, Twitter account to Emerald Robinson here. And it says, what would be the primary purpose of inflating C19 numbers? And who benefits the most? Pro-America or anti-America? Infiltration? All assets deployed? Election, not virus.
Wow.
Q.
Wow.
And it goes to this Twitter here.
Okay, let me go to that Twitter. Boom.
Into Twitter.
Breaking. Sources inside Trump administration confirmed to me that the CDC has been misreporting the data for coronavirus to inflate the numbers. Shady.
Yes. And so did you guys see what just happened the other day? The White House intervened and they mandated per executive order that all hospitals send the data simultaneously to CDC to the White House when they send to the CDC. So now they have a comparison because they've been sending all this to the CDC. The CDC has been lying their butts off and trying to tell you that there's everybody that asks for a test is pretty much positive for COVID. And now Maxine Waters and a couple of the other ones started flipping out yesterday because they don't want the president to have that information that he can report to the public that there's drastic inconsistencies. And now we have Q pointing out the same thing.
And when they just said like Kimberly Guilfoyle tested positive for COVID, I just saw her yesterday. She seems fine. She wasn't on a ventilator or dead.
Well,
are they going to apologize?
Donald Trump Jr. did an interview just a few days ago with someone, I can't remember where, and they asked him about it, and he was like, she's fine.
Yeah. And by the way,
she didn't get sick, but they gave her a positive test.
And that test could have been tainted.
Tainted
test. Ooh, tainted tests. I love it. All right, so this is the next one, Shady. Let's you do this one because I did too.
Okay, so this would be to linking us to the Twitter account of Andrew Bostom, and it says the CDC C19 data actually lower than reported. Why did select D governors mandate nursing home C19 positive insert? Election, not virus. When by any means necessary. Without all those deaths in the nursing homes, we would have 42% less COVID deaths.
So you're telling me that the Democrat governors mandated nursing homes with COVID-19 positive inserts. So they brought infected people into a clean environment and infected those people.
That's exactly what they did. And as a matter of fact, we do have reports of a few people who said that they have relatives that this happened to and that they were literally put with these people. Remember the one fella that was caught on camera beating up the guy, the older gentleman in the nursing home a couple months ago? Well, originally we thought that was an employee at the nursing home, but in fact, it was a younger person who had COVID-19 that the mayor had put into that nursing home, and then they put him right into a room with an elderly gentleman. So they were doing this was all
he beat the heck out of that elderly gentleman, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, he pummeled him, and then and filmed it and published it, dude. I mean, it's like you can be stupid, but then there's another level of stupid.
So this is what Q pointed us to Andrew Bostom. Real data again comparing seasonal flu deaths in Texas 2017 to 2018 and 2018 to 2019 to COVID-19 deaths in 2020. This data is from the Texas Department of Health. So let's just go over this. Deaths, influenza, the flu in 2017 in Texas to 18 was almost 12,000. 2018 to 2019 was 10,000. COVID, 3,322. 3,322.
Well, wait a minute.
Why aren't we wearing masks?
That seems less.
If they're wearing masks, it's probably because they're wearing masks, Shady. It's got to be.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my gosh. So this is insane, folks.
I mean, really. I mean, this is the numbers, everyone. I mean, this is the numbers that are causing your freaked out friends and family to run around wearing a mask, choking themselves to death, and creating long-term lung problems, guys. I'm just going to say right now, wearing a mask long-term will create fungal disease of the lung from breathing your own germs and carbon monoxide from inside that mask. Would you please breathe the fresh air and start standing up and be heard?
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing. All of these large corporations, Costco, Walmart, Target, have now mandated you wear masks in their stores, and going off the rails on this. As the virus is coming down, they're mandating you wear masks. And now I was just seeing a tweet from our good friend Barge yesterday from a restaurant here in Roseburg, just a little bit north of me, where they were not mandating people wear masks inside, and all the Karens decided to gather up, and there about 70 of them made reports to OSHA against the restaurant. So they're trying to get these small businesses, they're trying to shut down American small business, dude. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. And they don't care.
No, they don't care about you. They don't care. Beetlejuice doesn't care about you.
Beetlejuice.
Don't say it 3 times.
I don't care. Beetlejuice can't do nothing to me. Hey, by the way, Shady, we've got a new mod out there. Jeps, welcome to the team. I just wanted to give you a personal shout out. Thank you very much. You're doing an amazing job. We got Rocket Girl, Sparky's out there, Poussant. We got all. We got some great mods, and this actually is kind of a surprise show. Surprise. Just like a surprise pandemic that Fauci knew in 2017. Surprise! or that Kutz knew in his book in 1981. Surprise!
Surprise! Who knew?
Yeah, this is crazy. All right, so let's go to the next one, Shady. This is it. This is my turn. It's my turn, I think, Shady. My turn. So this is 4585. And it says, how do you provide cover for invalid positive test results? Think pawpaw. Remember the pawpaw fruit tested positive? Remember that? And the goat? The swamp runs deep. The news is fake. The war is real. Q. And by the way, if you go to fact check, that never happened, the pawpaw and the goat. They never tested positive. But yet you see the guy saying it. This is getting beyond insane. CDC labs were contaminated, delaying coronavirus testing, officials say. Fallout from the agency's failed rollout of national coronavirus kits 2 months ago continues to haunt U.S. efforts to combat. Do you think guys, if these were contaminated tests, were they contaminated with COVID so you'd be positive? And is that why they were all saying testing? Remember, all the Democrats, test.
Well, they wanted the test until the president pulled back with the executive order and stopped the bad test, and then started putting out his own tests. And then all of a sudden, they didn't really want the tests anymore. And so I think they've got a nice stockpile of these bad tests that they've been passing around in the background, and you can't avoid them. I mean, somebody died of a motorcycle accident day before yesterday, and they posted him as dead from
Florida.
COVID. The doctor was on TV, Matrixxx. He literally was on TV last night saying, well, we think that the COVID was the reason that he wrecked the motorcycle. I swear to God, they said it on TV last night. I was like sitting there like face palming live to my TV.
I know. And then I saw that too. I actually posted that, and you got some good coverage. So how do we trust the numbers, Shady?
Huh?
How can I, as a real person in America, Jeffrey Peterson, trust these numbers, Shady?
I don't think you can.
And I can't even tell people because they don't understand it, dude. And here's the flashback on the pawpaw.
Tanzania.
Right? Here it is. Let's just go to it because people are like, what was pawpaw? Because, we got a lot of new eyes to Q. So people are like, hey, what's the pawpaw? So in the Independent, here is the Tanzania coronavirus kits raise suspicions. Let's see.
Frontline workers like me have had to watch families break into pieces as we deliver the very worst of news to them, that the ones they love most in this world have died. The testing strategy has been non-existent. Community testing was scrapped. Mass testing was slow to roll out, and testing figures are now being manipulated? Does the Secretary of State commit to a minimum of 100,000 tests each day going forward? And does the Secretary of State acknowledge that many frontline...
Take a leaf out of the Shadow Secretary. I welcome the honourable...
families being unnecessarily torn apart.
I'm sorry, but this is in COVID test kits in Tanzania have raised suspicions after samples taken from a goat and a pawpaw fruit came back with positive results. As the president said, there were technical errors. President John Magufuli said during an event in the northwest Tanzania, and that the test kits were imported from overseas. So there's your proof that these tests were contaminated before giving, folks.
And not only that, but remember that they, whenever this study came out, they tested like one of their barrels of oil even, and it tested positive for COVID.
Insane, I tell you. All
and
right.
then we did have a Tanzanian, like a story about a Tanzanian president died, but that was a different person. I was actually thinking about that. That was the same person, but it's a different name. Weird.
7 hours before Q posted, Donald Trump Jr. said, "Guess who's back?" Just 7 hours before Q posts after 15 days of no posts.
He's back.
Wake up, daddy's home. I love it. All right, so here it is. This is the 4587 C19 narrative. Kill date is election day +1.
What?
Yeah, so the day after the election, Washington, the state of Washington, I believe, all their things go away. So prepare for 0-day massive cyber power attacks attempts on 11/14. So let me just show you what we mean. So this is Q links to safety standards and core rules for Washington state conveniently end the day after the election, Shady.
Well, how convenient.
Is this about the virus or the election? Who benefits the most? No debates. Can Biden debate, Shady?
No.
Can you imagine that, dude?
I cannot imagine the moment where that man has to stand on stage and go toe-to-toe with Trump. I mean, look at the way he demolished Hillary with, her inconsistencies, making some, one thing is going to be, this man can't be a president in charge of your law enforcement. And the president right behind her said, because you'd be in jail.
Boom.
The guy is like on it. Biden would get crushed in front of the American people in a debate.
That's right. And by the way, has he picked a VP? I don't know if it matters because there's going to be a batter change. Remember Q said that he's probably going to be, and it's probably going to be Bernie. That's what I'm feeling now. I don't know. We can speculate all we want, but there is going to be a batter change. I mean, I have a feeling. Do you remember when the Bernie campaign said that they were going to burn down the country if Sanders doesn't get the nomination? So Sanders endorses Biden, country burns, need to get Antifa out there, but we need everybody to wear masks so you can't spot who Antifa is. Then we'll just say it's peaceful protests. Guys, wake up.
And then we're going to be done with the COVID on November 5th?
Yeah. So if you go to ini.wa.gov, let me read this for the people on the podcast. So this is the emergency rule from Washington State. Emergency rule effective July 8th, 2020. Expires November 5th, 2020. For more information, see this website. So this Shady, this is telling you that that this ends. The emergency proclamation ends the day after the election. I mean, that's really all you need to see, Shady.
But this is not about the election. It's about the virus, Matrixxx. Good Lord.
But then how do they know it's going to be all done after the election?
That's just a coincidence.
It's almost like when somebody gets elected and all the hostages get released after the election.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of weird, huh? All right, so where am I here? Do we have more? I think that's it.
I think that's it from yesterday.
I think that's it. Okay, so that was the Q posts that we had on July 17th. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I did. And FISA is going to bring down
there
the
if
house.
You're not buying all this BS.
17 if you are a patriot. I mean, that's really it. I mean, we are being so deceived, and we're all being attacked right now, spiritually, and with our family that doesn't see stuff. Making crap out of nothing. All right, so sometimes you can't tell the public the truth. You must show them. Only then will people find the will to change. It had to be this way. This is not another 4-year election. God wins. Q. And that was Socrates that posted that meme, and I loved it. And I just made that my header for QAnon posts on 7/18/20. And if Socrates, you're out there, I see you all the time posting on my threads, and I appreciate you. Thank you. So retweet this, guys, if you want to, keep it going. But this happened last night, Shady. What time?
Late last night.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and cover this one? This was 3 a.m. my time, Shady.
I know, and I was like
45,
surprised sitting there, and I was like, boom, oh my goodness, the phone lit up. So this is to this Twitter account, and it says, do not give up the citizen investigation, public awareness, important, bypass of controlled, approved topics, general public steered by MSDNC like a dog steering sheep. Have faith in humanity. Q, and I think that all of you guys can see with this mask thing. I mean, if that is not showing you how they can steer people like sheep, nothing will. But this was in reference to the
QAnon John. You met him, by the way.
The storybook Pinocchio.
Didn't you meet QAnon John? Is that the guy
I did meet QAnon John at the event in South Dakota, there? Actually. That is right.
Is that him, or is this a different QAnon John?
I think that's him.
Okay. So I met him too. He's a nice guy. So congratulations. And it says, you will never look at your childhood the same again. Dump Disney. These people are sick. So let's go ahead and read that page. So meanwhile, Honest John and Gideon were at a tavern. A fat coachman was there too. Honest John bragged about how much more Stromboli, had paid them for Pinocchio. I pay even more for small boys, said the coachman. He showed them a sack full of gold. That's creepy. The coachman told Honest John his scheme. He brought boys to a place called Pleasure Island. Epstein Island. Epstein Island? Epstein Island? He said no boys ever return, at least not as boys. Honest John decided to catch more small boys. Just then, Pinocchio and I were racing home to Geppetto. I ran very fast. I didn't see Honest John stop Pinocchio until it was too late. That's creepy.
Right in front of you? And your children read these stories every day.
Now, QAnon Q has pointed out these guys at Disney that the Disney Cruise Lines stopped in front of Epstein Island. Maybe it was to watch the people swim or some creepy crap like that. But let's take a look at this. They brag about it. This is James Gunn, who's still a director. Let's see. James Gunn. I'm not going to read it.
Just show it.
I'm not going to read it. This is a Disney director.
Very bold to post that stuff in public, right?
They don't care. They don't fear you.
Care.
Look at that.
Why in the world would anyone post this stuff on social media if they did not feel like they were protected and in the majority of their circle? In other words, they're doing this to hat tip.
Look at Lloyd Kaufman. Thank you for not revealing that I mentored you at an NAMBLA meeting.
Mm-hmm. Mentored, being a space there. You know what that means.
Yeah. So these people are sick. And, if you guys, are paying attention, we had, you guys are the most red-pilled audience on YouTube. I mean, and Podbean now, welcome. Welcome, the most red-pilled audience ever. But I wanted to really quick show you this because it's important. Because we forget, how many investigations has Hillary Clinton been involved in? Well, here, real quick, guys, is one for covering up a pedophile ring. Here we go.
Over here, and we are following this breaking news out of Washington. Some serious allegations this morning facing the State Department.
That's right. According to internal State Department memos, the agency might have called off or intervened in investigation into possibly illegal and inappropriate behavior within its ranks, allegedly to protect jobs and avoid scandals. This concerns the time that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. We want to get right to NBC's chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd, with the latest. Chuck, good morning to you.
Good morning, Savannah. You know, there's an old saying in Washington that the cover-up is worse than the crime. But in this case, both parts of it are disturbing. Allegations of prostitution and pedophilia, and allegations that those crimes were somehow covered up or not looked into. So the State Department this morning is having to respond to those claims and those investigations of misconduct by State Department officials, including by an ambassador and security agents attached to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And the allegations are that these investigations were whitewashed, quashed altogether, and that those orders came from high up.
From Hillary.
NBC News has obtained documents related to ongoing investigations into some disturbing allegations involving State Department personnel and at least one
When does it become painfully obvious?
The State Department memo says the ambassador, quote, routinely ditched his protective security detail in order to solicit sexual favors from both prostitutes and minor children. The memo also says a top State Department official directed department investigators to, quote, cease the investigation into the ambassador's conduct. It's just one of what another document describes as, quote, several examples of undue influence from top state officials.
There you go.
On Monday, a State Department spokesperson...
So I went ahead, you can go ahead and check it out, but I wanted to show you guys that. I think it's important to understand, man, that this has been happening for a long time.
A long time, and they've been able to keep it really almost completely under wraps because of their 100-century-year-old control over your media. This is not just, they've not been just been controlling your media in the last 3 decades. This is over 100 years of, they play the long game, everyone, and that's what's kind of it's hard to wake your friends and family up because no one can really understand how deep and huge this is. But
who wants to believe it, dude? Like, I don't want to believe it.
I know. I don't either.
And isn't it interesting? We just looked at Pinocchio and Geppetto. So this article that Q links us to, Epstein was Pinocchio with Geppetto Ghislaine pulling the strings, accuser says. It was a Disney. Whoever wrote that might love that Disney book, huh?
And that was the book of Pinocchio.
Yeah. So that's the article there. So Shady,
just
go ahead
give
and read.
People an idea how long this has been going on. All of the stuff that comes out of Disney is haphazardly written around exactly what you're looking at. Not some, all.
Yeah. Shady, why don't you read the post that 4565 that Q reposted in Q post 4589.
Okay.
Today at 3:43 in the morning.
And this was originally on the 2nd of July. Possible Epstein was a puppet, not the main person of interest. Financed by who or what foreign entities? 1, primary, gather blackmail on elected politicians, dignitaries, royalty, Hollywood, influencers, Wall Street, and other financial top-level players, other high-level or high-profile industry-specific people, etc. 2, feed an addiction, controllable. Maxwell, family background, Robert Maxwell, history, intel, agency, wealth, class 1 through 99. Sometimes it's the people in the background that are of greater significance.
And I figured out who that was, I think. But let's look at this. So we're talking about foreign. Here, let's listen to this, guys.
In 1972, our countries were connected only through a narrow official channel, one member of government talking to another. Today, the web of connections linking our nations is vast and complex and reaches into just about every aspect of our societies. Our economies are tightly entwined,
yes, Al.
And so is our security. We face shared threats like nuclear proliferation, piracy, and climate change. And we need each other to solve these problems. The opportunities before us are also shared, and they define our relationship much more than the threats. So therefore, we have the chance, if we seize it, to work together to advance prosperity, pursue innovation, and improve the lives of our people and others worldwide. Now, when I say we, I do not mean only our governments, as important as they are. Every day across both of our countries, executives and entrepreneurs, scientists and scholars, artists and athletes, students and teachers, family members and citizens of all kinds shape and pull and add to this relationship. Together, they represent a vast range of priorities, concerns, and points of view. And they are all stakeholders in how we build toward a shared future.
With communist China.
Engaging their talents, ideas, and energies makes the U.S.-China relationship far deeper and more durable than anything our governments could do on our own.
And who voted for this? Why would you vote for that? Shady.
I can't imagine why you would vote for that, but look at the brainwashed people who do.
I know. It's sick. It's sick.
You know, and I see a comment from Garden Gnome out here saying, oh my God, they were telling us with the Brothers Grimm fairy tales, you know, it's all of them. Think about Hansel and Gretel, like all of them, Little Red Riding Hood, like all of these stories are based around feeding off of children.
Okay, let's watch this.
What was revealed during the Jerry Sandusky case is horrifying, but a CNN.com commentary raises a thought-provoking question. Should pedophiles be extended some measure of sympathy? Are we doing enough to identify and help pedophiles before they victimize our children? Dr. James Cantor wrote that commentary. He is a psychologist and a senior scientist at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto, and he joins us now. Doctor, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
I want to ask you something, and I know people are going to probably send me a lot of hate mail for this. I've never been one to take glee in anyone's demise, and when I saw Jerry Sandusky walk out in handcuffs, I did kind of feel a bit sorry for him, even though I know the jury found him to do some horrific things. I was like, you know, his life is over. All of these young boys, it was terrible for them as well.
Were you with Jerry Sandusky, buddy?
In your piece, you say someone has no choice to be a pedophile, but someone can choose to not be a child molester. So explain that to us.
Well, we have to understand very specifically that pedophilia is separate from child molestation. Pedophilia refers to the actual, genuine, underlying sexual interest. For some reason, and we haven't worked out the details yet, there are some people born with a genuine sexual interest in children. They didn't ask for that. Nobody asks to be a pedophile. That just seems to be the case for these people. But that's very different from child molestation, which is a choice. They can't control what they're attracted to, but they can control what they do with those attractions.
So someone was born that way and they can't help themselves, but that's not to make an excuse for their behavior.
Exactly. I mean, they're not responsible for what they're attracted to. They appear to be born with it. We know through a series of brain studies, both from my research group and from other teams, that they're born with slightly different brain anatomy. And the differences that they show are not the kinds of differences that emerge over a lifetime. Rather, they seem to be the kinds of differences where whatever the chain of events it is, that chain of events
Where's my no button?
Before birth. It really had nothing to do with any choice that they made.
So that's Don Lemon, right, with a guest trying to make you think that, we need to feel sorry for pedos.
Well, look at the way that he just dismisses the victims and says, well, that's one thing. But then there's also this guy who has this problem. It's not a problem, everyone. It's an addiction. Remember what we just read in that Q post right there, talking about Epstein and Ghislaine. Feed the addiction. Once you have them addicted, then there's nowhere they can go, and they always come back for more.
I think it's called demon possession too, Renee.
It is.
Yeah.
It is demon something, but you know, to see all of this, and we've watched so much of it in the last 10 years build up of normalizing pedophilia. I mean, even out here in driving around, if I go up to Portland, you can see literally billboards into the city that are acting like pedophiles are not criminals. That is absolutely not true, that is skewering the law enforcement line here. And I think that now you can see the defund the police narrative. Like, okay, we defund the police, well, we're going to catch less pedophiles and child molesters, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, this is what our president's fighting against, guys.
He's fighting them every day, man, and he is probably getting a little bit tired of people not getting louder, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know why this isn't. So this is interesting. This is the Matrixxx Groove Hour, Shady, even though it's now the show, Matrixxx, because look at it, it's an hour and 45. But this is when we had Paul Saran on, and we were talking about the temple. And let me just refresh this. We were talking about the temple, and then Q posts that one temple. It was pretty amazing. Let's go to this.
So that's what I was had to relay to her. Look at that. Just explain to me.
So if you guys want to
check out old shows, please. You brought it up, maybe.
So we were talking about the temple. There. Very good, Paul. Thank you for that. And let's just go over the Q post. Here it is. It is right when Paul was showing the Epstein Island mosque. Q team drops this: symbolism will be their downfall. Q, and that's Q post 3446. There is the picture. You can see the picture there. That is a bathhouse in Aleppo, Syria, guys. Here it is.
No, I'm sorry. Is it? Because I've seen it posted as a...
But interesting that we were talking about Epstein's temple just back here, right? And Q posts that. So that's the kind of stuff that we're seeing here on this show. So please spread the show around. Get us over there. If you want to watch this 1 Year Delta show, we interviewed Q Baby as well that day. Also, here's the 1 Year Delta thread, Shady. And I think it's very important to go back and look at this one because it talks about everything that we're talking about today. Right here's
it does. And whether we're discussing the amulet or the necklace that Gloria Vanderbilt was wearing, or whether we're looking at this bathhouse, the connections to Guatemala and the ancient world, and going back with all of this stuff in the Middle East and the ancient world, this is not modern. You're not looking at politicians who are, somehow messed up in the modern era. What you're looking at is an ancient cult practice that is continued into the modern era, and they've gotten more brazen and bold because they think they have you brainwashed enough to not see what they're doing, so that they can come and hunt among the living.
That's right. And that's the thread there. And then it was funny. I think I was on the phone with Mike when this one happened. He was talking about Evergreen and Jake Tapper, and Q dropped Evergreen and the Lord's. This is the one. Yeah, Mike and I, we were talking about his hat that he bought with the armor of God. Q dropped that. We talked about Evergreen. We're on the phone, and he dropped that. We were talking about, yeah. So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening, guys. Look at this. Hiding in plain sight, guys. Hiding in plain sight. So please, look at this. Contractor says he quit over unsupervised young women's topless photos. These people are sick. And here's your jihad squad. Q dropped this. We need to go back and look at old Q posts, right? Shall we play a game? Reconcile. So the president nominated a Marine to be the first ever black female general. We got a black female general. We got some generals saying we're not diverse just here in the news yesterday. Yeah,
at the Pentagon or whatever.
We got it.
Yeah.
Look, this is getting beyond borderline insane. So please.
Yeah, it's past the border. It's full scope insane now.
Yep. So go ahead and check it out. We need to, keep digging and re-looking at old Q posts. So at intheMatrixxx, put in the date and you'll find it. Okay. On Google, at intheMatrixxx with 3 X's and 7/18/19 or whatever date you want, you'll find it. Okay.
Boom.
And it's important that we go over this stuff. All right, so let's keep going because we got, look at this. Sometimes people in the background, and here's 1,054 images of Ghislaine Maxwell on Getty. So I go to Q post 1054. It says, look up Ray Chandler. None are safe. Isn't that interesting? 1054 images. Q post 1054. And then I'm like,
Ghislaine and Ray Chandler.
Yeah. So I don't think it's Ray Chandler, the one we think it is. I'm thinking it's Raymond Chandler. who had Alice in Wonderland. He helped write that book. He wrote a lot of other books. There's an interesting connection there. So let's go to the next actual Q post. The Shame of Thrones. This was 12:18 this morning or this afternoon Eastern time, and it says Shame of Thrones. And Q links us to another article, and it said, and he wants to quote this. This marks the third Spacey accuser to die in 2019. At what point does it become painfully obvious, folks? Huh? And we got Spacey, Ghislaine, Queen. I got pictures of Robert Maxwell with the Queen. I got pictures of Robert Maxwell being buried, a video of Robert Maxwell being buried at Mount Olive in Israel. It's the people in the background. Now, what do you call a spy? Are they people in the background?
Yep.
Mossad. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
And, we're seeing also not just her, but we're seeing associates of her, people who call themselves her lieutenant, very scared right now. And there were also 7 siblings in this family. So she has 2 sisters that are very active, one that pretty much has their hand in all of internet security. And so there's a lot more here to unpack. We are really just, talking about the surface stuff, trying to get people interested in this stuff so that you go dig for yourself, so that you learn for yourself. That is what Q wants you to do. He doesn't want you sitting around and pointing at other people and calling people Q or saying that people aren't Q or any of this other garbage. What we're supposed to be doing is we're supposed to be identifying targets for the future, and there are plenty of them.
And look at this guy right here, infiltrating to take down the pedophile ring, just like he took down in the 80s the Mafia, 5 families, just like he's taking down MS-13, just like he's taking down the pedophiles, guys.
Right now he's taking down the worldwide mafia, mob,
That's
cartel,
right. So
invisible enemy.
We get this thrown in our face all the time. So, okay. It's not my team, your team. Let's introduce everything as evidence, including these pictures, including his relationship, because you know what? You know what his trump card is? His testimony to the FBI to help take down the pedophile ring. Do you 5-5?
And also he has proof that they buried his testimony to do that through all of these other protectors and handlers up at the high levels of DOJ, hashtag Mueller, Comey, and RR.
Right.
They protected it, and SDNY protected it.
There's Robert Maxwell. You'll see a lot of people. So look at the people in the background.
Foreign.
Uh-huh.
And also this week, Ghislaine announced that she was married and that she wouldn't tell them who she was married to. And also whenever she was trying to get bail, they were asking her for her financial records, and she literally wouldn't reveal any of her financial records to the DOJ, but was saying, I'm going to put up $5 million for a bond. And they said, no, thank you.
Remember Q's post of tackling that guy on the 50-yard line or the 17-yard line? Look at tackle him, get him. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't, because it's not going to allow me to. That window didn't. Oh, yeah, you saw it. Okay, good. And I want to find one more because we're talking about, he's Mossad. He's also here with Murdoch. This is a great dig. So go to this website. It's in the tweet that I had. And dig, guys. You're going to find some amazing things. In fact, you're going to find Robert Maxwell with Mick Jagger, Ghislaine with Mick Jagger. I mean,
Naomi Campbell.
All of them, dude. They're all connected. And prove me wrong. I got to remember which one. I should have just went right to the video, but just scroll this because you got to see it, right? You've got to understand there's the Ghislaine yacht, right?
Yeah, that was parked out there in Marina Del Rey the other day.
Yep. Let's watch this. This is her. Is that popping up? Let's make sure. Yep, it's popping up. She speaks in a couple different languages. Sounds like Italian. Let me just go to it.
En nombre de mi madre, hermanos, y los médicos de esta civil.
Go to English here, hang on.
To thank all the many hundreds of people who have sent
and the media for
messages
covering it up
of
for
support
us.
to us at this very, very sad time. I want also to thank the press.
Thank the press, Shady.
For their courtesy and consideration to my mother and to us at this time.
So she's done. Sorry. And we're worried about who's who and what's what. This is what we're worried about, folks. This is what we should be worried about. Digging and frickin' telling people who's who and what's what, guys.
Look to where the laser pointer's pointed.
Look at this. Ready?
Their first port of call was the swimming pool. Fittingly, the princess wore aquamarine. And when they left, the persistent Claire was still in attendance. Come and meet my mother, she asked. And the princess
Queen with Robert
duly
Maxwell,
obliged.
folks.
Meanwhile, behind her back, young Claire had slipped away for a little hug with her husband. The Queen wasn't having any better luck with the weather. The cycling she was supposed to see was a complete washout as the lonely velodrome lit up with a prayer from her
5-5. Let me see the 5-5s if you guys understand now. This is what we need to be doing, Anons and Patriots. This is what we need to be doing. We need to be digging on these folks. I mean, it's absolutely amazing information that's out there.
Should we be watching a funny Hillary video?
Yeah. I mean, we can do that too.
I'll drop it to you in the Discord if you want to play the funny Hillary video you were referencing.
Yeah. I wanted to actually try to get to the him being buried.
Right.
In Israel.
Yeah. I saw that picture in there
because
too.
The men in
it takes forever for these to load.
People in the shadows are actually, I believe, Mossad.
I believe you're right.
Not people in the shadows, but what do they call them? People in the background.
Even the people that are setting up operations to attack Q people.
Yeah.
Magco.
You think?
Doug Stewart.
Well, let's not name names. We're good. If people want to follow those people, it's good. I'm not. Yep. But you're right. All right, look at this. These people are sick. Kinetic satanic desecration is the 11th attack on Christian churches, Shady.
And it keeps going.
And there was a church in France that burned yesterday, too.
Sure was. A big one. An old one.
Who's really behind the riots?
Yeah.
All right, so this is, look at this. So this is it. So let's look at this. News 8 confirms local police are investigating the vandalism, right? There's a apparent trend in desecrating Catholic spaces. Referred to St. Joseph Facebook post. Okay, so in July 16, statue of Christ decapitated inside a Florida church. July 15th, statue of Virgin Mary decapitated outside Tennessee church. July 12th, statue of Virgin Mary lit on fire in Boston. July 11th, suspect arrested after detectives say he plowed a minivan through the front door of Queens of Peace Catholic Church in Ocala, doused the foyer with gasoline, and set it on fire, causing extensive damage. July 11th, arson suspected and devastating fire at St. Gabriel Mission in California. July 10th, statue of Virgin Mary desecrated with spray paint in Brooklyn. July 4th, statue of St. Junipero, Sarah, toppled in Sacramento. What is it? June 20th. Statue of, in Los Angeles and so these targeted the same statue twice.
Same statue in all three locales.
Yeah, look at that, three times. May 3rd, St. John's Church firebombed. All right.
So I thought they were going after the slave owning racists.
These are peaceful protests, Shady.
Oh, peaceful protest. That's a heck of a peaceful protest.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and cover 4592, my man.
All right. This is 4592. Just a little bit ago at 12:43 Eastern Time. When was the last time you witnessed a D party leader being patriotic, exhibiting national pride or love of country? When was the last time you witnessed a D party leader speak out against the riots and the violence in the streets? MSDNC projecting peaceful protests? When was the last time you witnessed a D Party leader support those who took an oath to protect and to defend? And when was the last time you witnessed a D Party leader support and call for unity across our nation? Why do they want people divided? And why do they want people categorized? Who controls the Democrat Party leaders? Killbox F for foreign. The great deceivers. Q. 1 + 1 = 2. We were just talking to you about the network in the shadows behind the scenes that do not want you to know who or what they are. And Q and you are making sure that they get some attention.
That's right. Let's go over the next post here, Shady. This is a Twitter account, PNNHII. So this is Q post 4593. And it says, when news is no longer trustworthy, it's up to each of us to use discernment. Have faith and trust in yourself. Unity, not division. Where we go one, we go all. Q. And this is Germany.
When we go on.
Yes.
Wow.
When we go on.
Where we go one.
That was quite a number of people yelling back there in the crowd, wasn't it, my friend?
That's right. I love it. I love it. That's beautiful. And we've got a Q Army Germany. We've got people in Germany. That person follows. I mean, we're amazing. Shady, I just want to point this out too. This is a cup.
Yeah.
So this is not the head of NYPD. This is actually the Sergeants Benevolent Association president. That's why we got to be careful.
Oh, I thought he was the union guy.
Well, in this thing it says head of NYPD.
Okay,
but he's actually the president of the Sergeants Benevolent Association.
Yeah, that's the union.
Right, that's the union. So he's the president of the New York PD's union, right?
Right.
Well, it did say union. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is accurate. I see how it should be uppercase in union, but
yep, I get you. But look at that little cup in the background. What is it? Oh,
boom!
Shakalaka. All right, so now I can point to that. Got the head of the P. I mean, okay, so I'm proud. I'm proud, guys and folks.
We stand with law enforcement, law and order.
We do. And Shady, we're just going to wrap this up because we want to kind of keep our broadcast a little shorter so people come look at us. Please share us. I think we did a pretty good job on this. We got a lot of digging to do, folks. We need you to keep fighting. United, not divided, right?
I am going to request you play the Hillary video right here as we go out.
See?
I know, but they need to see it. The audience has to have their fix.
All right. Oh. Hang on.
Little Hillary Clinton.
Wait.
Wearing #1 for the Cabal Cannibals today is little Hillary Clinton. Hillary has lived most of her life as a raging bitch face after being born with an ice cube for a heart. She's about as powerful as they come. So in partnership with Soros-rigged ballot machines, both parties have agreed to come together and have Hillary run the game. She's hitting the campaign trail, and there she goes. The New York Times reported touchdown probability at a solid 98%. I'm not surprised. With the $14 billion her foundation stole from Haiti, you know that money got spread around. All reports now show it's to be smooth sailing for Little Hill. Oh! Donald Trump with the takedown of the century! Can you believe it? There's pandemonium! The crowd is going wild!
Oh my God, that was perfect. Shady.
Unity, not division. Yep. Takedown at the 17-yard line.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. So united, not divided, guys. So if people are trying to divide, they're not united. And I'm going to go out with this real quick because this is what we stand for right here. Much, much love, everybody. Shady, great job. Please share our broadcast, guys. Podbean, thank you very much for tuning in. intheMatrixx with 3x's.com. This is what we stand for, folks. Statue of Liberty. The flag. stand for, folks. We stand together. We stand united. We stand for our flag. We stand for good. We stand for what is right. We stand for compassion. We stand for freedom for all. We stand for peace. We stand for liberty. We stand for justice. We stand for equality. We stand for prosperity for all. We stand for religious freedom. We stand for human rights. We stand for life. We stand for each other. We stand for friendship. We stand for love. We stand for the United States of America.